Howdy, this is Team Arcade, and we will be presenting the project that we have been working on this semester for our client, Professor Richie. So we will begin by talking a little bit about the problem that we're trying to solve. This is the New York Times Games page. This is a page where users can go to play many different popular games like Wordle, for example, or Spelling Bee. And our client, Professor Richie, enjoys many of these games. However, he had a few problems with the app as it exists. So firstly, unfortunately, some of the features are hidden behind a paywall. Users have to have a New York Times subscription and pay either monthly or yearly in order to be able to access some features. For example, keeping track of high scores or being able to see the results of past games. Additionally, playing some of the games requires users to create a New York Times account. Professor Richie would rather users be able to play any game without having to create another specific account in order to play these games. And finally, some of the features are not accessible for a client. They're only accessible to New York Times editors. So for example, setting the daily word for Wordle, changing particular game styling and aesthetics, things like that. In order to address these issues, Professor Richie tasked us with creating an alternative to the New York Times page that provided some of the same games, however, without some of the issues that he brought up. And so some of the features that we have included on our app are obviously the ability to play games. Right now we have 4 games: Spelling Bee, Wordle, Letterboxd, and 2048. Users can access our site freely as a guest, so they don't have to create an account. They can play any game they want without creating an account, but they can also register as users in order to be able to track their progress. If they do want to register, they can do so using an OAuth provider, using one of their existing Google, GitHub, or Spotify accounts, so they don't have to create an account that's specific to our application. Additionally, we also included some functionality in order for the client to be able to have access to some of the editorial features that we mentioned previously. So for example, setting whatever the word of the day is going to be for a game like Spelling Bee or like Wordle, and also being able to change the aesthetics and the styling of different game pages. In order to do this, we created a user role management system where the system admin can assign and manage different user roles. And that way, for example, our client can delegate the responsibility for managing the Wordle puzzles or the Wordle page styling to some specific users and be able to give them privilege over different games and different aspects of those games. Some of the notable design choices that we made were for our technologies. We used Ruby on Rails to develop the app, and we used a relational database in order to model relationships between our users, the games that they play, what roles they have, and then also what games they have some privilege over, maybe. Our deployed app uses the Heroku PostgreSQL in order to store and manage user data. And a notable data modeling design choice was that, so for our user role management system, like we said previously, our client wanted to be able to delegate responsibility of managing different games to other users. And he wanted privileged users to be able to see how their privileged actions impacted just general non-privileged users by allowing privileged users to essentially view the page as a non-privileged user. And so we have made it so that users who have many roles can dynamically choose what role they want to use in order to interact with a particular page within our app. And that lets privileged users basically see the app as many different roles, depending on what it is that they want to see. Some of the lessons that we learned on software engineering practices, obviously, we learned about working as a team, got a little bit more experience working as a team on a software development project. On agile specific practices, we got to experience working with a scrum master and a product owner. And because we rotated these roles, we were able to experience what it was like to be a scrum master and a product owner, and in some way, how it is to lead a development team on a project like this. We also got some experience on project planning, so taking a big goal, breaking it down into some tasks, right? Talking about user stories with the client, and then being able to assign different tasks to developers and also prioritize different features based on their uh, how much value they add to the client, and also being able to estimate how much time a particular task could take. Finally, we also learned some practical how to work with some practical project management tools like Jira for progress tracking, or Git and GitHub in order to manage versions and branch control. And we also got some experience on dealing with a production environment, especially sometimes finding that certain features were not working in production while they were working on development, figuring out what the problems were and how to best make it so that uh, the app functioned well and as expected on these different environments. Now we will go ahead and demonstrate the deployed application in its current state.
Okay, howdy everyone. This is Team Arcade, and this would be our project demonstration. First of all, what is the project? The primary customer need is driven by Professor Ritchie, who was frustrated with the monetization of the New York Times Games page, which requires users to log in and pay for access. As a stakeholder, he wanted a platform that offers similar gaming experiences without the financial or login barriers. This application, developed by Team Arcade, addresses this need by providing free access to a collection of games. Users can play without creating an account or paying any fees, ensuring a seamless and unrestricted experience. Now, I would like to start a demo. Firstly, as I mentioned, you don't have to create an account to access our app, and you can simply log in with continue as guest. And here you will see a beautiful landing page wherein you can access all these games. And it also has the option for you if you want to log in and access your own dashboard. So right now, as a guest, I would try to play 2048. And as you can see, it does let me access my game and I can freely play it. Now I would go ahead and sign in with Google. We also provide other OAuths that are GitHub and Spotify. Fun fact, if you use Spotify, you could also have all your music while you're playing the game. I'm gonna go ahead and log in with Google right now. Great. All right. As I show, as I showed before, let's open 2048, and as you can see, it also has this question mark icon over here that shows how to play this game. And this is applicable for all the games that I have in this project. Similarly, for Letterbox, it shows you how to play this game, and similarly so on. Also, you have a user statistics page over here that shows you um, what games you have played, when you last played it, what is your streak, and your different scores for different games. Right now, this is a brand new account that I just created. And as we saw, I just played 2048, and this is shown over here. As we play more and more, this would start to populate further and would have different scores for these games as well. Also, you have the option to update your profile. So you can go in, add different accounts over here. As I mentioned, you can use Spotify and GitHub as well. It also shows you what current active roles we have and your profile options. You can choose to edit or delete your profile here as well. Regarding the active roles, you can go ahead in here into the settings icon and select what your active role right now should be. So in this project, we give the option to system admin to assign roles to other users. This could be a system admin, and this could be a game-based role like a puzzle setter and puzzle aesthetician. So for those roles, that's on a per game basis, and we'll see that as we go along in this demo. Okay. Um, Now let me try to log in with an account that has system admin privilege to it. You can assign system admin by asking another system admin to assign you a system admin, or you could do it with the seeds.rb file in the project. Great. Now this is an account that has system admin privileges to it. So as we can see, there is this new icon over here, which is the all users page icon. So if we go here, it shows us a drop down where you can search via a role name, and also with these first name and last names. You also have the option to filter as to what particular role you want to see, or if you want a specific game. Um, if you just want to see roles with people with specific game-based roles. Other than that, it also shows you what accounts everyone is connected with. So over here we can see Nandini is connected with Google as well as Spotify. Right now, I have all these privileges, and as you can see, if I hover over any particular game, it also shows me what particular role I have. So for spelling bee, I have puzzle aesthetician as well as puzzle setter role enabled for myself. And I'm also system admin, and I can make someone else system admin as well. Great. Um, so you see, I can assign system admin role to Krishna because he's right now not a system admin. Great. And let me try to add puzzle aesthetician for Wordle for Krishna. So let's say I go in here, I can assign puzzle aesthetician, and I can select a particular game for him. And as we can see, this role got updated for him. And now Krishna is a puzzle aesthetician for spelling bee. Great. So now I have almost all roles assigned to myself. So if I go into the settings, as I can see, I have all these roles assigned to me, and the roles that are checked are active for me right now. So if I were to say I only want system admin to be active right now, so I can go ahead, select check system admin and save it. And now only system admin is active for me. Let's try to play around with the puzzle aesthetician role. So let's say I go into spelling bee. I activate the puzzle aesthetician role for spelling bee for me, and I hit save. And this new icon popped up over here. And if I click on it, it looks like a color palette. So over here, this center letter, I can choose to change it to red over here. So, and this is a live preview of as to what this would look like. The submit button can be changed as well. Let's say I want to make it yellow. And I can also change the font color and also the font as well. And when I'm done, I can hit save and go back to the game. And as you can see, these changes have been made over here. This is the case with other games as well. So if I were to go into Letterbox, activate that role for myself, puzzle aesthetic for Letterbox, save. and I can do similar things over here as well. Every game may have some different options. For example, Letterbox has an option to change this line color as well, and this varies from game to game. Moving on to the puzzle setter. If I were to go into spelling bee and I activated the role for puzzle setter for myself, hit save. So now I have this pencil icon that will help me set this puzzle. So as we can see, we have letters for different dates, and I can go in and edit the puzzle as well, and also have a list of all the valid words. Different games again have different screens for puzzle setter, and that varies from game to game. If I were to go into Wordle, let's say, and I activated that role for myself, puzzle setter for Wordle, save. I can see all the words that were assigned for different dates. I also have a page for Wordle dictionary. So all these words over here, I can update this dictionary, and I can also search and sort them. Also, one quick thing I want to mention is you can change the game casing as well using just this button. So if I were to go into Wordle now, all these words have a smaller casing. And if I change it back to up, it's now capital. Also, something to make this game more accessible for everyone, we also added this accessibility feature wherein you can change the contrast of the app to make it accessible for other visually challenged users. And that is it. That is the end of the demo. We really hope you love our app, and thanks so much.